The opinions expressed on Plastic Fantastic are intended for educational and informational purposes only and are not meant as a diagnosis, treatment, or substitute for professional medical advice. The mention of any product, treatment, or procedure on the show does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation and is purely for the information and education of the public.
Welcome to Plastic Fantastic, a weekly show dedicated to the latest in plastic surgery, aesthetics, beauty, and wellness. Now, here are your hosts, board-certified surgeons Dr. Robert Silich and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good morning.
And good morrow.
Olivia Hutchinson here live.
Dr. Robert C. Silich also here live.
Barely.
Well, come on. It's the...
Twas the week before Christmas.
But we are not quite there yet. We are just a week away, yes, which is hard to believe. I was talking to a patient of mine today, and I said, it seems like we go straight from Halloween to New Year's in about a week.
Fast.
Right?
It's like the toilet paper roll.
Thanksgiving is halfway through,
you know
and then boom. Oh, you mean it disappears at the end?
Yeah. You open up that brand new roll of toilet paper. It's fat. You can barely get it to move. Then by the end, that thing's flying on its own.
Yeah,
it's got inertia. If you don't stop it, it's going to keep rolling.
Shall we just talk about the toilet paper roll for just one brief moment?
Fine with me.
You know, with these mega rolls, you can't even fit
them.
Yeah.
You know, you
it's
just
all
can't
about
win.
The fit. They're
it's all
too
about
big.
The fit. You can't win. Ladies and gentlemen, listener
this
on
is the Plastic
His Majesty's
Fantastic
Internet, right, we have now boiled down to toilet paper.
This is what makes Plastic Fantastic so fun.
Are so proud of all that.
Nobody knows what we're going to be talking about.
I don't even know what we're going to be talking about. I look at you for the Q signs.
The Q?
Yeah,
like the Q, remember? In medical school, the O sign and the Q sign?
Do you really want to share that?
No.
I don't. That's so it's gallows medical. Humor, it's beyond.
It is medical
it's
humor.
Very dark.
It's like House of God references.
Good book.
Which
one of the few books I've read.
Really?
Good book.
I should probably reread
Only
that.
Because there wasn't a movie.
Well, you know, speaking
Maybe
of
there
movies,
was a movie.
I went to the opera and I went to see The Hours last night, which apparently was a movie before it was an opera. Who knew? Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, Nicole Kidman. Yeah,
and Meryl Streep and Julianne Moore. So
that's
Virginia
not the
Woolf.
one about Sylvia Plath, is it? That Nicole Kidman was in? No.
Anyway,
how
it was
was
very
it?
interesting.
I remember it being extremely depressing.
Yes, I was going to say the subject matter is not holiday themed.
Would I be uncomfortable?
Probably, because it's not going to make you smile. And I know all you care about when you go out is to have a good laugh. And I don't think...
Yeah. Big fan of funny musical theater.
There are a couple of little items in there, a little snippet of humor that's thrown in there, along with reference to a very famous aria from The Queen of the Night, Mozart Magic Flute.
Isn't it very anti-men, too?
I didn't see the movie.
What's the synopsis? Give it to me briefly.
No, it's
quickly.
too depressing.
Just quickly.
It's, great poet, writer who's dying of AIDS.
Oh, love it already.
There are three different...
I hope it's a mini-series so I get to see more of this.
Are we just going to jump to Netflix
no, go
and
ahead.
HBO? No, I'm not going to ruin it for you. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I was thinking about is the fact that it's holiday season and it's holiday cheer. It's also a super stressful time of the year.
Yeah.
It's not just the most wonderful time of the year. It's when everybody sort of like gets ready for part deux, as it were, of post-Thanksgiving. Yeah. Family adventures, getting together, travel.
I'm a big proponent of the Christmas season, or the silly season, as Mel Gibson says in Lethal Weapon. And I got to tell you,
he says it's the silly season?
He does.
Why?
They ask him if he gets depressed, and he goes, yeah, especially around the silly season. Plays like that quasi
yeah, you never really know
self-destructive Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon. Still a great movie.
Aren't there 5 of those?
I don't know, but there's a good toilet scene. Speaking of toilet paper, I'm bringing it back, where there's a bomb under the toilet.
I remember that.
Great scene.
Happy endings, though, which are just the best in movies, right? You always want there to leave
I'm sorry, I didn't know where you were going with that for a second.
Leave the theater with a smile on your face.
I always leave the theater with a smile on my face because I'm out of the theater. Thank you. I'm here all week. Tip your waitresses. By the way, going back to what you said to your patient, I had a funny exchange with a patient today as well. She has this around-the-clock nursing, and she's getting sick of having all these nurses, and she really doesn't need it.
Post-op, you
Sounds
mean,
like
or
a joke,
just
right?
because?
Yeah, and I said, you need to get rid of those nurses. You need some alone time, some me time, so that you can sit on the couch, put on Netflix, and realize there's nothing to watch. And you need to figure that out on your own. My God. Scraping the barrel, right? Have we just seen everything?
I don't know. I haven't really watched too many things.
You're not missing anything, sister.
I like to read the book first and then have the picture in my mind's eye. I think you can be very creative with that.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me a link to the top 23. I'm not quite sure how they came up with 23.
Let's do it.
No.
That was last week.
We're all listed out.
We're listed
We're
out.
delisted.
I'm listless.
Top 23 art exhibits in New York City.
There's 23 going on right now?
Who knew, right?
Wow.
So they have these immersive
You're going to
ones.
say of the 20th century.
Yeah. As we speak.
That's big business, those immersive
Galleries
things.
Also. There's a Klimt one. I think that's the
There was the big Van Gogh one last year.
Then
Pronounce that the right way for me.
Van Gogh? No.
Oh, you did? Oh, good.
No, he's
I
not
thought you were going to
French.
break into the Dutch.
No, I do not speak that language.
It's a tough one.
I don't even try to understand
It's
it.
one of the few ones you don't.
That's one of the things I can do over Christmas break. What are you going to be doing over the next... You've already done your Christmas shopping, which puts me to shame, honestly, because I haven't even
I'm close.
thought about it.
I panic, and then boom, I just do it all in one shot, and I think I'm good.
Online?
Fortunately, the little ones in my life, and they're not even little anymore, my godsons, I can knock those guys out with cash.
Mucho moolah.
It's what they want, right? Give the people what they want, as
What age
the
do you
king
think
said.
that becomes appropriate at?
I don't
18?
know. But,
When they're adults and can manage their own money?
You know, it's bittersweet because you realize they're becoming like little young adults that are autonomous and they'd rather have money on their own. It's cute. My godson, it starts with like,
He's
which
17
started
or
with,
18?
well, that's the oldest one. He's in college.
oh.
No, he's probably more than that, actually.
If he's in college, he's
I should
probably
know
at
this,
least
right?
18. Yeah.
That's right.
Send us an email now.
That's
PlasticFantasticShow
right.
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
How old is Dr.
It starts cute. Starts with the gift. Then does the gift card. And now it's just down to...
By the way,
got anything on you?
what's in that pocket and what's in the other pocket? The gift cards are apparently almost like a racket because there's so much money that is put on gift cards that never gets spent.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
Because, first of all, it's an actual number, obviously. So if it's $100, people don't want to spend their own necessarily, so they won't actually use the entire value of the gift card, and it'll be like $10
Oh, see,
left.
I always
or like
use it
20.
as a discount. Like it's going to be $100 off the next
Less,
meal.
yeah.
Great.
But not everybody does that. So not everyone spends.
Can't tip with them either. Did you
mucho.
know that?
No.
It's frowned upon.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just money, right? I mean, you'd think it would just be.
I don't know. I remember somebody in the waitstaff industry said to me that
You can't.
it's
tip
one
with
of the
gift-
worst things you can do to
Well, the other thing that
a
you
server.
can't do is, you know, they have the Salvation Army people with their little bells
You
ringing.
can't assault them.
You shouldn't assault
Oh, I
anyone.
thought that's what you were saying. No, that's true.
You should be nice and respectful. The Salvation Army,
Yeah, can't assault them.
they would crimes not to commit during the happy season of Christmas and Hanukkah, and what else is going on now?
Hanukkah's really soon.
I think past during it. We should probably check the dates on everything.
Yeah.
But that also changes. It's like Easter and Passover. They change the dates.
Right.
New Year's is also an assigned date, by the way. It's January 1st, in case you needed to
I do know that one.
Yeah, you do. But for the Salvation Army, you give cash. Nobody really carries cash anymore. There are a lot of places that have gone cashless. So I think it must be much more difficult because what are you going to do? Give them a gift card? Put your credit card in and just say, go ahead, charge as much as you'd like and send me the
That's
receipt.
interesting. I wonder if they carry one of those little things that, you know what they have in Europe where
Yeah,
they
the
hand you the
square.
little machine?
Well, they have those here too. Not
But it's
just here.
rare, though. In America, they still show you the bill, goes away,
Right,
and it
'cause
comes back.
We're
But
so
in,
skeptical.
in Europe, like you hand the card and they just take out that thing right in front of you at the table. They don't miss a beat.
The little
and put it right in.
processing machine.
It's a bit, I don't know. I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
Much more civilized here, which is ironic that
Yeah.
there is an American tradition that seems a little bit more refined
Yes, than the Europeans.
than on the continent. Isn't
Yes.
that interesting?
Well, maybe
I
they
never
can
thought of it that
learn
way.
a few things from us, like the American Revolution did it much better than some of
And
the other
the
ones. over
beauty
there.
of the buddy movies like Lethal Weapon, which we talked about.
Yes, and so
Never quite caught on in Europe.
really, that's interesting. I
I
wonder
don't
why.
think so. Jules and Jim is not really a buddy movie. I don't think so.
No, there's a third person involved with that one too.
That's true.
So I think a lot of people are going to be binge watching.
What are you
were
binging?
talking about recovery
There's
from
nothing on.
surgery. So we encourage our patients. Come on, we just have to say a little bit about plastic surgery because we do take a
You
week
just
off.
did. You used the word recovery,
We take a week off between Christmas and New Year's. A lot of our patients will be recovering during
which is
that
odd
time.
because everybody asks for that week to operate on.
Yes, because it's sort of the easiest time
Yeah.
to say that you're just hanging out.
We should do
at
that
home.
one year, you and I. We should just say,
pick a date and say we're going to.
we just say we're going to work through Christmas and New Year's. Like, ignore it. See
But
if it
I
works.
like to have my 24th and 25th off. And then there's Boxing Day, speaking of European traditions.
Big holiday.
Everything goes on sale.
Love it.
And if you're one of those people who has your birthday right around Christmas but before, that's really tough because a lot of people forget it, right? If it's like the 23rd or the 20th or even Christmas Day.
It's terrible.
Do you know anybody who was born on Christmas Day? I
feel like Jesus. But I don't know him in the sense of how I know you.
He's not around anymore.
Right. Well, it's debatable.
In spirit.
He's with you all the time.
Boxing Day, of course, if your birthday's after the big spending craze, then of course you get everything on sale. And then everybody also returns. And they keep extending the date. Have you noticed? It's like the student loan deadline or whatever, that's been extended for repaying those things. The Real ID deadline, that's been extended to like 2025 or something. Everything keeps getting, like, there's no such thing as an actual deadline anymore. What are we doing to ourselves?
Yeah.
Nothing is actually due. You just sort of get an extension on it.
Except for bills.
Well, but maybe you can extend those too. So I think COVID has changed a lot of things. So I think if you're in school, a deadline should still be in deadline. And you and I, of course, still have deadlines.
Well, we try and teach our residents about deadlines all the time, but I'm not sure that happens.
Board certification, it has a deadline.
Here you go again with that little tiny board certification
We just have to throw these things in there.
All right, have we hit our quota of plastic surgery?
Yes, we have. We can move on.
I don't know what we're going to move on to, but
we're going to move on to...
I'm boring the listener. I can see it in her eyes.
What do you do when you have your feet up and you're recovering from surgery that is interesting and that you can actually do? You can't necessarily read because it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes you have some swelling around your eyes,
like
or you
I said,
just get tired.
TV, baby.
TV, you can tell people, this is what I think is great. You can actually bring people in that you don't mind them knowing that you had surgery. See, I have kids at home, so this is the easiest thing. If I were to recover, I would just hold delegate.
Court.
And then say, like, can you pull this out? Cleaning the closets. It's always a good time, right?
Wow.
Put everything out.
That's evil. That is so cruel. Sit there in your bed, perched up, be like, okay, move that there.
Just say, like, can I try things on? Oh, no, but it doesn't have to be your room. You can have them do it
Make your kids try things on?
In their own closet. Accomplish things.
That's how you fool them?
That's how you...
Let me see how you look in that dress. No, it's way there in the back.
There are parents who wear their kids' clothes and vice versa, which I think is always interesting
because a lot of mother-daughters do that.
I think some of the things that the younger generation... I don't even know the names of the stores. Have you been to Soho? Yeah, you go to Soho all the time.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of boutiques that are the same in Uptown, shall we say, Upper East Side or Midtown. But then there are a whole bunch of places that I've never heard of that are only downtown. The stuff that's in there, I don't even know how you wear them. You're like, which one's in the front? What's in the back?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, I know.
It's a completely different generation. I feel very lost.
It's really very retail now.
Soho, you mean?
God, yeah. An outdoor shopping mall.
And it's a lot of tourists that come through and they just like to walk around. I don't know if it's as holiday feeling as Midtown. Rockefeller Center, the trees all lit.
Looks great.
It's really pretty. Sidewalks are wider, too. You don't feel like you're going to get run over by traffic. Yeah.
Why are they
Midtown?
wider?
I don't know, because it was designed that way.
Oh, you mean? I thought you meant this time of year they're wider. I'm like,
no, relative to Soho.
Yes. Oh, that's totally true.
Yes. So, I mean, you can also get bigger crowds.
Plus, a well-heeled lady like yourself,
like myself,
those cobblestone streets can wreak havoc on your shoes.
I don't think you can wear high heels down there. Do you wear your high heels when you go to
Not when I'm in Soho. No, I save them for my Uptown.
If the listener out there has any recommendations on what high heels they can wear or should wear for Dr. Sillage or myself, please send us an email, plasticfantasticshow@gmail.com. And we're going to take a short break and we're going to be right back to talk more about what you do the week before Christmas.
This is Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Sillage and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson.
If you came across a child struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you recognize a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school?
Not because he's a boy, but because he's hungry?
Or a 2-year-old girl who cries all night, not because she's sick,
but because she went to bed without enough to eat.
Or maybe a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites him to a sleepover, not for fun, just so he can have dinner. Or a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks over lunch,
so her friends won't know she doesn't have anything to eat.
I am the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day, but never knew were hungry. I am child hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15's. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit. And make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA.
Plastic surgery with natural, elegant results. Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Silich and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson returns now.
Welcome back to Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Silich.
And Dr. Olivia Hutchinson. 'Twas the week before. That's what we're talking about.
And the countdown is on. The week before Christmas, the week before the mad run on the retail stores to buy things.
Yeah.
I think we're past the deadline for ordering things that are customized. Do you ever get like jerseys with people's name on them?
Engraved jewelry. Yeah, luggage and stuff like that. Yeah, you're right.
It takes a little while to get
And
those
nowadays,
things
everything seems to take forever.
And I don't know why that is. I remember being somewhere in the suburbs and there was a mall and there was a person who was actually engraving on site.
Right, I love that.
You know? Exactly.
Some places do, like Smithson of Bond Street
the
in
super
London.
Fancy ones.
The one here and the one in London, I know they'll do it as you wait. While you wait.
Where's the one here? Is it in Midtown? It's like in 50 or...
It's on 60th and
60th.
Madison.
Yeah, a lot of stores down there. New boutiques that are opening, which is really nice.
Really? Tell me about that.
Well, I haven't gone into them, but everybody's sort of like Asprey, I saw moved down.
I'm amazed they're still around.
I love that store.
So do I.
Because it's up your alley.
That's the
nice Brits.
Anglophile in you. Where is it now?
I'm an omniophile.
You are an omniophile.
Yeah, and I'm omnivorous, too.
You sure are.
Can we talk about food? Yeah.
I'm ready. By the way, wait, where's Osprey?
It's still in Madison, but it's on the west side of the street now, and it's farther down in the 60s. It used to be up higher.
Cool.
And then the other thing that I'm trying to figure out is what are they going to put in what used to be the Giorgio Armani boutique building? Because they tore down completely.
I know the answer to that.
You do? Tell us.
An Armani hotel.
They do this?
Apparently they do.
Or is this
They're moving into the hotel industry.
This is going to be the flagship?
I don't know about the flagship, but I know that that's what it's going to be. They still own that lot, and that's what's going in there.
Oh, so they're going to put the
God,
boutique
we're like
there.
doing real estate now. This is so cool.
I know. We have many talents.
I believe it's still an Armani territory, just a hotel instead of a retail shop.
So that when I saw too, there's some new little cafe, a tea and cocktail place. I think it's like the art of the cocktail.
Look at you.
Yes. Well, I walk up and down. See, this is the big advantage to walking everywhere in heels or not heels. Mm-hmm. And not just in New York City. I mean, whenever we travel, we are always on foot. Or
they always
the vast
do say
majority
that
of the time.
New Yorkers are in better shape than most people because they walk a lot.
Plus, it's serendipity. You never know what you're going to find. You know, you're going to be walking down one street and all of a sudden something will catch your eye and you go down a narrow alley. And how about all those places that aren't even marked? Speakeasies. Talk about things that have had a resurgence.
Man, you're just freewheeling right now. Okay, keep going. I'm trying to follow.
What speakeasies have you been to?
There is one, I wouldn't say it's a speakeasy. It's a restaurant that is hidden behind a butcher shop on Great Jones Street.
Behind a butcher shop?
Mm-hmm.
They serve alcohol and drinks?
It's a restaurant, yeah.
Oh,
it's called Bohemian.
Interesting.
It's very good. It's Japanese.
That's interesting. Why would they call it Bohemian?
I asked them once and they're like, you know the song Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen? And I went, yeah, of course. And he looked at me and he just like shook his head. I'm like, okay, I guess that's why you're calling it.
This is how you answer a question with a riddle?
There's nothing, right. There's nothing bohemian in it. It's just they like the name. So anyway, it's a great little place. No sign.
The no sign is what?
The phone number's not published, but, you know, I'm going to publish it right here for the listeners. Everybody ready? No, just kidding. But I know it's good. So that is kind of a speakeasy.
So how did you find out about it?
I believe it was written about somewhere. And it's interesting. I had to send an email and describe
who you were and why they should allow
I'm not anybody. They wouldn't know who I was, but I just said, well, you know, I've got a bunch of Japanese friends and I've got interests in Japanese food and I lived in New York for many years.
You had to prove yourself worthy?
I think, first of all, you need to be referred kind of by someone and then they wanted an email.
You're like James Bond, 007.
Hardly. I'm like 003.
At Anderson Shepherd.
Yeah, no. But anyway, it's a good place. So that's one. And then there's isn't that place La Esquina underneath?
Where's that? Downtown also?
Yeah, it's all,
you
it's
do a lot.
Lafayette.
You do a lot
probably
more
dating
downtown
myself
things.
too. These places are probably come and gone by now.
Well,
that's how you know you don't go out a lot, right? New places open, and by the time you're like, let's go see it, that place closed 2 years ago.
Speaking of downtown, I was walking past the Gramercy Hotel.
Oh, man.
And that's completely closed down. I don't know what they're doing
bummer.
with that.
They're auctioning it off.
They
you
were
auctioning
exactly. So they had some of the furniture that used to be in the Rose Bar, which was right there. And it's kind of like seeing a movie set that's been dismantled.
Sad.
Because you sort of associate, especially that furniture was so velvet and a throwback to whatever the 1900s.
They had those great, well, I think they're great, those Julian Schnabel paintings all over it. He did a lot of the art in there.
Yeah,
it's great.
I don't even know how many of them.
It's a great room.
Yeah, well, it's no longer.
But
so
it's gone.
It was weird. And then they also had a lot of the toiletries, which I thought was funny. Like, why would you be selling toiletries?
Here we are again,
robes,
back at toilet paper.
The robes and the towels and all the bathroom paraphernalia. But the only thing that I saw people buying, which I thought was hysterical, was they had all of these ironing boards. And people were going in there and buying the ironing boards. And I was like, who would have even thought that there were ironing boards? I have no idea.
So
maybe it was just
weird.
like the time. It was very
But then
weird.
again, I'm trying to think, when was the last time? I guess you had them at Bed Bath & Beyond, right? Where else would you see an ironing board?
Amazon?
We do so many plugs, by the way, for everything. I mean, we're mentioning restaurants, Amazon. Hint, everybody.
Yeah.
We're looking for a sponsor, right?
Well, we're not really looking for anything. We're just having way too much
except for
fun
love in
doing
the
this.
wrong places.
Well, we already have all the love we can manage.
All right.
It's floating in this room right now as we speak.
I'm feeling it right now.
We're suffused.
I love it.
With the aroma of love.
Remember that scene in Hannah and Her Sisters, Michael Caine? I have my answer. I'm dancing on air. He says that.
Really?
I'm
Michael
dancing
Caine,
on air right now.
As only Michael Caine can say.
The best. So cool.
Isn't it Dancing on Sunshine or something? Isn't that
Walking on Sunshine? Katrina and the Waves.
Well, if you're walking, you might as well be dancing.
I guess.
There's a restaurant up on Madison at like 92nd Street, Vicolina or something.
I love that area.
And then just south of that is a bakery by day. And then same thing, the Trompe-l'œil door, there's actually a restaurant behind it, or a little bar
And it's
area.
only a dinner place?
Yes, it's only dinner because the bakery is there during the day, and so I guess...
Is that Carnegie Hill? I love that
yes,
neighborhood.
It's Carnegie
it's so
Hill.
nice, isn't it?
By the way, I saw that exhibit, the Trompe-l'œil exhibit at the Met. Very good. Another plug for the Metropolitan
This
Museum.
is amazing.
Metropolitan Opera,
My
everything
God.
Metropolitan.
If this was a TV show at the end of it, the credits, there'd be like, special thanks to...
Yes,
right?
everyone in New York City who made
Seriously,
this possible.
Bohemian, Osprey, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, all of them. It'd be listed.
Non-stop.
Wow. Smithson of London.
How about the Louis Vuitton show?
Yeah, did we
at
talk
the
about
Madison? That? Yeah, I think we did, because that was the old Barney. Speaking
I
of
still
things that
haven't
have
gone.
come and gone,
Yeah.
or are no longer
It's a very
here.
New York-centric show, Olivia.
I know. And
we're
by
losing
the way,
listeners. You have to remember we're on His Majesty's Internet.
Well, we are, but everybody sort of wants to be in New York. So when they come now, they have the insider scoop. It's much better than using a book. By the way, if you're thinking of coming to New York and you'd like to send us an email with questions or comments, maybe something we forgot to mention here,
totally.
please email us at plasticfantasticshow@gmail.com. We will get back to you, perhaps not same day, perhaps not even same week. And now that Christmas is coming,
you're pretty
maybe
busy.
not even.
I'll get back to you.
Next
Just send
year,
us the email.
we'll get back to you in 2023.
True.
And the other thing that I want to talk about was yours and my favorite.
Mm.
You talked about Bohemian, but food.
Yeah.
Prepared? Do you do any kind of like big meal for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day that you start the week before and then you freeze so that you have less prep to do?
No, I keep it fresh, man.
What do you prefer, doing the prep or doing the cleanup? Because I like to do the part in the middle.
God, please. Are you kidding? You like the eating part.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, I like the mise en place. You know that.
Yes. Okay. So do I.
I like setting it up.
So
Tearing it down is a waste, but setting it up is the best.
Well, it's not a
Sometimes
waste.
it's better. How many times have you done that where you've shopped, you've washed everything, you've pruned it all up, you've chopped it all up, you've gotten it ready, you kind of make it, and then the second it's done, you're like, I'm kind of over it. I don't even want it anymore.
I don't even
right?
want to make it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just going to serve it and go.
That's when the private chef comes in.
Yeah. No, I made this thing the last 2 Christmases, which was really neat. It was a big wreath of...
Sounds super fancy already.
It's not. You just put it together and it's really cool. I'm going to give you the recipe after this. It's a wreath with frisee lettuce, smoked salmon.
You know why it's called frisee?
No, tell me actually. I don't.
Because it's frizzy because of the shape. That's
Oh, really?
Yeah. It looks like it's been
You're
frizzled. Like Miss
goddamn
Frizzle.
smart.
Like the,
My money don't frizzle. It shizzles. Wow, that's pretty good.
like frizzy hair.
Creme fraiche in it.
Ooh.
So it looks a little bit like snow. and then you put in
big dollops of it, or
pomegranate seeds. It's really
so it's like
beautiful.
holly.
Can't remember where I saw it. Anyway, you just put it together. There's no cooking. You just have to basically set everything up, and it's a great little thing to like serve.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. And then
great.
while you're at it, there's like a pomegranate cocktail.
You must have that. And pomegranate
has
antioxidants.
Here you go again, bringing me back to medicine. Can't we just get drunk?
It's all about wellness. It's about feeling good and knowing that you're not just poisoning yourself with the alcohol, but you're actually adding.
Mom, come on. It's got pomegranate in it, I swear.
I've never actually taken the pomegranate seeds out of it. It seems like a hell of a lot of work.
It does, but I think there's an easy way to do it. I think you cut it in half.
Get somebody else to do it for you.
Yeah, I guess. And then with the back of the handle,
you delegate. See, this
you smack
is what I was
the back of it, and they go everywhere. So you got to do it over a bowl, but they like pop out. Smack the round part of half-cut pomegranate with the handle of the knife, and everything comes dropping out.
But I thought it has all these trabeculae
raining,
and
yeah,
so
but you
it gets
break
stuck.
those up.
Okay.
Raining pomegranate seeds.
If I were to do that, you know what would happen? The pomegranate seeds will get all over the floor.
That's why I said you got to do it over a bowl.
It bounce off the edge of or the lip of the bowl and then end up on the ground. Then I would step on that, and then there'd be like red marks, and it would look like a murder scene in my house.
Ugly.
Or the dogs would lick it up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not good for the dogs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know if seeds are good for the dogs.
Dogs eat a lot of stuff that they
just go for it. I don't think they're picky, but that's why you got to watch them. Like they eat chocolate.
Mine don't. Mine are hounds, so they just like to smell things. But Labradors are the ones that eat pretty much everything indiscriminately.
Yeah, and they'll eat like a chocolate cake, and you're like, I don't think that was good for you.
You probably don't want to leave your chocolate cake out. What else do you make besides the wreath? Do you make like lamb
God,
chop?
you really put me on the spot. No, but you know what I do love to make? Mulled wine.
Ah, okay.
I do like roast, but I don't know. Nowadays, I'm like the only hedonist that still eats meat, aside from you. I should make a roast for two. You and I can eat it.
There you go.
Mulled wine, it's great. I used to like buy the cloves and the oranges and cinnamon sticks. You can, but you can also buy...
Are we going to make a pitch for somebody else, another company?
I'm not even going to say the company, but there are companies that will make mulled spices. And you put them in that little tea...
so they're pre-mixed.
The little tea bowl.
The little, yes.
And you
the
soak
steeper,
it.
The tea steeper. You have one of those?
Uh-huh.
You have loose leaf tea that you put
That is so much work, but I do have it. It's a great little gift for somebody. Anyway, mulled wine is great because the whole house smells like it, and you can get ripped on it. There you go.
Which is what we're trying to not encourage.
Stay healthy.
Getting ripped with Dr. Silich
Getting
and Dr.
ripped
Hutchinson
with the doctors
means something different, I think, for other people who are pumping iron.
Shredded out.
Yes,
yeah,
I think getting ripped
Defined.
is a series of maneuvers you're supposed to do, periods of time when you're bulking up and then you're shredding and then you're cutting. I don't know. They're like all these terms that I, of course, am not one of those bodybuilders.
Neither am I.
I'm very much in awe of people who can actually do that because it demands an enormous amount of self-discipline and denying yourself things like food, which I don't think I could ever do. So also not advised if you're going in for surgery because it's such caloric restriction. But to all those people out there who are doing it, congratulations.
So in the next segment, why don't we talk less about plastic surgery and more about food in the holidays? I think that might be fun. You want to try that?
Yes,
by the way, are we at the break now?
We are about to get. I was going to say, how did you know
there was
never
come?
How did you know
there was a break? You're going to ask me again. What else do you make? What else do you make?
No, we're done asking Dr. Silich.
A big reservation. That's what I make.
We're going to be right back.
Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Silich and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson is coming right back.
Dan Hicks with Paul Azinger, welcoming you back to the Healthy Stand Classic. And Zing, she has been absolutely tremendous today, but it all comes down to this shot.
It does, Dan, and you couldn't ask for better conditions. 68 degrees, just a slight 2-mile-an-hour breeze, and a UV index of 3. This is absolutely critical.
That is right. This direct exposure to midday sun could be increasing her risk to melanoma.
It looks like she's making a change.
Yeah, she's putting that putter back in the bag. Now let's see what she takes out.
Oh, wow. Looks like she's pulling out a 15.
I don't know. Looks like she's going with a 30.
Strong choice. She's going to want to use the recommended SPF 30 even on a cloudy day.
And notice how she's using broad spectrum sunscreen.
And a generous amount, too.
Incredible.
That was a masterful performance.
That was pretty good, too.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
Hi, I'm Kirsten from Pentatonics. We've all learned how to cope with more time alone. With more time spent isolated or at home, the need for companionship has grown. If you've considered adding a pet to your family, please check with your local shelters and foster organizations. Stray pet numbers have grown immensely over the past several years, and the trauma cost to these animals is devastating. Adopt pets, they need us more than we know. This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
The premier choice for plastic surgery at its finest. This is Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Silich and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson.
Welcome back to Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Olivia Hutchinson, my merry little elf.
Dr. Robert Silich, wearing the elf's outfit.
Of course, I have it
Talking
on.
about all
the
things that
bells
he
on
does
my shoes?
As an elf. With bells on.
Well, let me ask you, since you interrogated me in the last segment, what's your special holiday meal that you make?
It's nothing.
All right, what's your special holiday drink you make?
It's not special for holidays. It's
Is it
just
a punch?
variation on a theme. No, I don't make for other people. I just make for me.
You make a punch for one?
Sangria, have you tried that?
I love it. What's not to like? It's tough to drink in the wintertime, though, I think.
Well, you can use the leftover fruit and then make like a compote out of them.
Yeah, so but speaking about getting ripped, as we did in the last segment, you got to be very careful with that because that can be...
Yes, you do. Everything in moderation, as they say.
That fruit soaks up all that booze.
So what are some of the fun places to go during the holidays where they can also feed you and give you something to drink, perhaps, that are kind of no. There's no right answer. It's like writing an English essay. But New York City, I mean, we've talked about this. The holiday season is probably the best time to be here, except when it rains, because it sometimes rains more than it snows. We do have white Christmases every once in a while.
I think it definitely rains more. Yeah.
Which is really nice when we get that. Generally speaking, it's not like going to Minnesota in the middle of the winter.
One of the bedrocks is in Minnesota.
Okay. So he's probably wearing a lot more clothing than we do.
Yeah, he's tough.
But it's still doable in terms of walking around, seeing things. There are throngs of people. But, you can still time it if you go early in the morning or whatever. Plus, we know our way around. So what is something that you like to do at Christmas time?
Oh, my God. I feel
in
like
New York?
Really under the couch.
No, I'll tell you. So what I like, I'll just tell you.
Tell me yours.
So Bryant Park, I'll show you mine. They have a little... I'll show you my thought process. The Bryant Park has all those little kiosks.
It is very cool. What do they call that?
Christmas market or something?
Yeah, it's like winter market or something. Yeah, it's very neat.
They also have outdoor skating, which, as you know, I'm Canadian. And
you're a big skater.
I do like to skate outdoors. I think it's completely different. We do have Lasker Rink, which I think is about to go under renovations or has already started, which were the outdoor rinks up higher in Central Park. And then Woolman Rink, which is down there in Central Park, right by the plaza.
Woolman is the one that was Trump Rink for a while, right?
Correct.
And now it's back to Woolman.
I think the name. Well, it was always Woolman, but I think he was supposed to manage it and didn't, really do the things that one would hope would be done to make it really.
Oh, I thought
pleasant.
he did, but it was just the fact that he did it and they canned him.
It wasn't.
No?
Anyway.
Lasker Rink is the one that's up in Harlem Mears, right? Where you go down that big hill.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
And there were 2 rinks, and I know I saw the plans for what, I think it's going through the Central Park Conservancy, but which manages all of Central Park.
Which, by the way,
an amazing
thumbs
job.
up to them. They are amazing. I run in the park just about every morning. I swear, you can't find one paper wrapper. You can't find one piece of garbage. It's amazing.
So that is actually a volunteer, or a friend of mine does
this. But it's a private organization, which, you know what? Good for them. Imagine if you left it to the city to do.
I would rather not.
Yeah.
So
you'd rather not imagine. I hear you.
I'd rather not imagine. Imagine all the people.
Exactly. Oh, that was good, John Lennon.
Did you like that?
Very nice.
We have to make a little plug for.
I like that. JL.
But anyway, so they're making it into one rink and then sort of a walk around or something, some kind of promenade around the outside, which
that sounds lame.
I think that I would have rather kept 2 rinks because they have the hockey rink on the one side and the figure skating rink and the open public skating, and there are lots of kids who come down from everywhere, from Harlem and Bronx, and it's sort of an easy access
Kids
point
love
because
skating.
it's higher.
What is that?
It's the fresh air, and it builds up their appetite and makes them happy. It's the kind of thing that you don't have to be really good at it to just enjoy it. There's some sports. You can't be a downer because this is the holiday spirit.
No, I'm up. I'm in. Okay. I'm in.
Like the fact
my
that
nieces love skating.
They have Rockefeller Center, which has a tiny little ice skating rink.
It's beautiful, though. It really is
very
beautiful.
Pretty. That whole area is all lit up. It's really, really nice.
And that light show they have on the facade of the Saks building now, which has become a tradition in of itself, is great.
In the windows?
No, above the windows now. They started doing this a couple years ago, and now it's become like a real big attraction. They project, I think it's every 10 minutes, this kind of light show up against the whole facade of the building.
Oh, of the...
So if you're facing the tree, it would be behind you.
Right.
So you turn around and face
Saks.
East. Right, the Saks building. And every 10 minutes up on the facade of the building, they have this little light show, which is really cool.
And what do? They change it every year?
It runs every 10 minutes.
Oh, so that's why everybody stands around.
They can't change it every year. I'm sure it's the same.
I think they've cordoned off a portion.
Oh my God, everything.
I mean, if there's one piece of advice...
It is tough to get around. That's right. I'll give you that.
Walk if you can.
Walk or take a bike.
Or take the city bike, which is also very popular. The
only take your own bike.
City bikes also have those little electric ones, I guess, that you don't have to pedal, or those are scooters.
The majority of them are now. It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think pedaling is good. It's good for the body and the soul. But anyways, what I was saying is that the Bryant Park area also has the outdoor skating, and so you can rent skates if you don't have them, and that's also nice.
Where's the rink there?
It's like one of the, or maybe
close to the back of the library.
Yes. I think they also had bumper cars on ice or something. They had something funny like that.
Do you know what the New York Public Library used to be?
It used to be your home.
How did you know that?
The Sillage residence.
No, it used to be the reservoir for the city.
Really?
It's built on a big, giant pool. I think it was called the Groton Reservoir, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, you know more than I do.
Yeah, maybe. And there's these really cool paintings of the...
What it used to
I guess it's like the late 1800s. Yeah, of people. I think you could even swim in them. Underground. The whole area of Bryant Park was a big reservoir.
Pool?
Yeah, and then they filled it in, and they put the New York Public Library there, which is magnificent.
It is very pretty.
On the west side of it, they have all those shops that you're talking about, which is really cool.
And so they have a smaller version of that at Columbus Circle. They also have the Time Warner Mall. I guess we have a mall in New York.
And Hudson Yards. Big time.
Hudson Yards, which I'm going to
These are more the people in the credits at the end of the show. You realize. Special thanks to
I'm going to go see that show with the Straight Line Crazy, which is the Robert Moses. Also based on a book, which I haven't read, actually.
I have read that book. Wait a minute. I need to see this. What is it? This is one of my favorite books.
It's at the Shed. Oh, really? Well, I haven't been to the Shed yet, so I thought it would...
Do you have it, the Power Broker? Maybe I'll get Sarah to get it to you under the tree.
All right. Sounds good. You can put a little bow on it.
Olivia, I got to warn you. It's really long.
I was going to say it's 1,000 pages, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's unbelievable.
Fascinating.
It is this one guy, what he did. And it's just one of those great stories because he was not a nice guy.
Right.
And did many, many bad things to the city. But then he also is responsible for the entire city we live in today. I mean, he did things, I didn't realize how many things he built that we are just, Riverside Drive, Riverside Park, that's all him.
Well, he sounds like a one-man show, and Straight Line Crazy is a one-man show. It's Ralph Fiennes, who I think is...
Kidding. He's playing Robert Moses. Where am I? I'm the Geico guy living underneath the rock.
Let's get out from underneath.
Where is this show?
At the Shed.
Oh, God, you told me that. That means I got to go to Hudson Yards for that?
Yes. Have you been to Hudson Yards?
Many times. I told you, I like it.
Yeah.
It's my guilty little secret.
I've walked past it, but I'm going to go do that. And so I'll let you know if it's good. It may be a limited run.
You've not been to Hudson Yards?
No, I've only walked through it.
It's
fantastic.
Walked past it. Great restaurants, great everything.
And
it's
the
a little
High
far
Line is
away.
there. I kind of get it because it's the High Line.
You know, I hate the High Line, right? We talked about that last week.
But we can say it again.
I don't really hate it, but I have to say I hate it.
If there's anything that you hate and you'd like to tell us about, or just...
Please dial the hate line or email us at plasticfantasticshow@gmail.com.
What is the hate line? Should we just give out a random
number?
The number?
Yeah, I think it's like 1-800-666-6666.
I hate you.
6666, right. Although that was that cab company that they had to change because of all the sixes, right? Hey, easy. Look at me with all these sponsors. My God, we're going to get dinged.
Are they even around, or was that all sevens? I can't remember. The one was all sixes, all sevens, all eights. Yeah. Somebody had fun coming up with those numbers. People go to Brooklyn. I hear that Brooklyn Heights kind of gets done up in a festive way too. Well, you might know because you ride your bike down there.
I don't go to Brooklyn Heights much, but boy, it's beautiful over there. I've been there before. I mean, they've got like one of the best views of New York.
Which is probably the best part of Brooklyn Heights, is that you can see New
And it's
York
very fancy. There's a beautiful promenade, and there's beautiful little brownstones and homes. It's nice.
It has the feel of the village, right? Of what Greenwich Village
very much so,
is like. I like discovering new places in the city. So downtown area, I think, has a lot of parts to it. We talked about the Bowery the other day, which is, I think, in and of itself, not the best.
It's like nobody told the homeless guys and all the down and out in the Bowery that it was basically now like where all the fancy people go.
Yes,
so you see these people, particularly tourists, like they'll come out of the Bowery Hotel or all these fancy restaurants and like, wait a minute, who are all these people on the street?
Up your game. Are you paid actors to be here?
Right, exactly. Oh, look how quaint. They made it look like old New York.
And there are all these places now that you can go up the edge, I think it's called, where you can go to the jets out into the air. It juts out into the 100th floor. One Vanderbilt Plaza, I think, is that what it's called?
The clear lucite floor. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can do that. I think that may exceed my ability.
I'll wait downstairs for you when you go.
I don't get anxiety, but that may be what's going to cause it. I do like the fact that in general, they've done a lot of positive improvements. There's so much construction on all the time, which Robert Moses does not oversee anymore. But for the most part, I think they've done a nice job of it. And then the other place that I'm going to go to, which I also haven't really done, is Chelsea Market, which has lots of little...
But you have been there.
I've been there, but I haven't spent
it's great.
Considerable amount of time there. I went to the Tin Building, which
all
was
right, so I'm so sick of hearing about it. Do tell. How is it? Great?
No, it was nice. I mean, it has, a bunch of different things.
I mean, the press on it has been like beyond full, like packed with lots and lots of people?
Well, this was a few weeks ago when we had that really nice weather in the city, and it was a Saturday.
Okay.
I think it was pretty much all tourists. It depends what you want. I mean, they definitely have some really nice...
I mean, everywhere you turn in New York the last couple months, 6 months, it's been about that.
For me, it would be tough to get to because it's all the way downtown. But for you, on your bike, but then you can't carry things back unless you have a little... Do you put a little basket on your bike?
Yeah, I do. How'd you know? I put it aside my gingham skirt. Very nice. No, I have the little
I'd
bag
like to see you in a gingham
skirt. I wear them when I wear my heels on the cobblestones of Soho. It's a whole look I've got.
We pulled it all back together.
Oh, my God. All you need to do now is talk to me about toilet paper, and we've come full circle, so to speak.
We're not going to talk
full
about
roll.
The end is the beginning again.
Don't tell me. Don't say it. Alpha, Omega, and then...
Because it's the end of the year, yes. And so Janice...
Are we done? We taking a break?
Unless I've managed to do all my Christmas shopping, which I probably won't because I'm not as well organized
We're
or
not
efficient
exchanging
as you
again,
are.
right?
Never exchange.
Cool. I mean, we exchanged like salutations and cocktails.
Funny quotes.
Funny little quotes and things we can't say on the air
comments that get deleted by the censors.
Yes.
Maybe we'll put them on Twitter now that it's free speech again. So
my God.
No more censorship
Can't even
on
talk
the
about
internet.
that, thank goodness.
Well, we hope everybody has a wonderful holiday with family, friends, full of love and happiness and joy and bliss and excitement and enjoyable things.
So we're not going to get to say anything before the next time we talk to the listener. It'll be after Christmas?
I don't know. It's going to be a suspenseful moment right now as we break off. Thank you, Dr. Silic.
Thank you, Dr. Hutchinson. It's been fun.
You've been listening to Plastic Fantastic, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season.
You've been listening to Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Silic and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson. Produced by Mike Scheck. This is Bill Eugene speaking. Got a question? Email plasticfantasticshow@gmail.com. And be sure to listen right here every week for another episode of Plastic Fantastic with Dr. Robert Silic and Dr. Olivia Hutchinson.